Hello ladies and gentlemen. So today in this video I am going to be talking about the 7 steps of becoming a dental hygienist. This is going to be the 3rd video of my dental hygiene series. So getting right into the video, the first step that you need to take before becoming a dental hygienist is doing your research. Now this is going from way in the beginning. So this is before you've applied into the program, before you started school. This is from the very beginning. You, let's say, just graduated high school, or you've decided that this is a field that you're interested in. So first, you need to do your research. There's so much that encompasses in this field, and you need to find out what it is. So, 1, find out the basics. You know, what is the job? What is the pay? What is kind of the schooling? Things like that. And then the next thing that you would find out is which schools are in your area, and write this information all down. Which schools are in the area? Are you willing to travel out of state to go to your program? Are you very, determined to be in state for your schooling? So find out which schools you want to apply to. After that, you find out at each school what are the prerequisites that the school requires to even apply into the program. Typically, prerequisites will consist of Bio 1, the first Bio, so for me it was 160, Bio 241, 242, which is Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2, Microbiology, Chem 121, which is Chem 1, and Chem 2, which is Chem 131. And the numbers might differ depending on which school you're applying to. Now, these schools, when you have found out all of these prerequisites of each school that you're applying to, the next step would be, are there any other requirements that you should be aware of? And this includes maybe any observation requirements that they require, or maybe they require you to have at least 1 year in the dental field, experience. Now, I've never heard of a school that requires this, but you never know. So find out this as well, all of the little information that kind of will bring this all together. And do you have to have recommendation letters from your teachers or from a hygienist that you job shadowed? So anything that you would need to apply, I would write it all down. Like, keep a notebook or a Word document, where it has all this information for each school you're applying to. What are their prerequisites? What are other requirements that you need to be aware of? Or like test dates. Maybe your school, one of the schools you're applying to, might require the TEAS test. And you want to give yourself enough time that in case you don't get a score that you like, you can retake it. So definitely write all of those dates down, any test that they might require, the deadline for that test. And I recommend definitely not putting it off to last minute, because that can cost, you an acceptance into the program. And then another thing that you would write down, this is very important, each application deadline. So if you're applying to multiple programs, it can get very confusing of which application is due in what time, because some schools will accept students in the springtime, some accept them in the summertime, some accept them in the fall time. Maybe there's even schools that accept in the winter time. So you want to write this down so you're prepared to apply for each school. I actually had a girlfriend who was applying, and she wrote down somehow accidentally, she mistaken the deadline date, and because of that she missed her application deadline. So you don't want to be in that place where you miss the deadline, and you have to wait another year to apply, especially if that's the only school you're applying to. So step number 2, job shadow a dental hygienist. At least 2 actually, because you don't, if you just hear from other people kind of what the field encompasses, you don't get the full picture. But if you're job shadowing a dental hygienist, you can see right there everything that's going on, everything they're doing, everything that job entails. So you want to know what you're going to do. Will you like it? Are you okay with seeing blood in the mouth? Because you will see that. Are you okay with giving anesthesia, like giving shots in the mouth? Are you okay, to sit, in a chair for 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 hours in one day and, be cleaning a mouth? So you want a job shadow. I would recommend 2 hygienists. Now, why do I say 2 hygienists and not just 1? You might go to your first, job shadowing experience, and you might have a very bad experience there. It might be an office that you particularly don't like, or the hygienist might not be something that you expected. And this can shape your mentality of the entire field. But you don't want that to just be the only kind of determining factor. But if you go and check out another dental hygienist, and you might get a whole different experience, and it might be something that may change your mind, And you know, the more experience you're getting with job shadowing, you're kind of preparing yourself for different things that you can encounter later down the road. And it can really help you tell if this is the field that you want to go into, or maybe this isn't the field for you. So I would really recommend job shadowing, at least 2 hygienists. Step number 3, you have decided that this is the field you want to go to. You're determined and like you want to start now. So apply to a college and start taking your prerequisites. I would recommend writing down all the prerequisites that you're required to take for all the schools and making a schedule, a 2-year schedule or a 1-year schedule or a 3-year schedule, depending on your life and what you're able to handle. For me, it took me 2 years to do all of my prerequisites. So starting from my first quarter, I started taking biology 1, the prerequisite to taking anatomy and physiology. So you want to have in every single quarter at least 1 science class you're taking, because this is the big deal in the prerequisites. It's the science classes that really will make a difference when you're applying. So definitely write down all of your prerequisites and which prerequisite you'll be taking in what quarter. And be aware that some classes will require a class that you have to take to unlock the next class. So in order to take anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, you need to take bio 1, so bio 160, which is what it was for me. And so some schools might not even require bio 160 as a prerequisite to apply into the program, but you have to take that class to even be able to take anatomy and physiology 1 and 2. So just be aware of that when you're building your schedule. And definitely, if you are not very independent with building your schedule, it's good to see an advisor. Bring all of the information you have already to them, because they may not know all the little details and all of the classes that your school might require to take before applying. So if you bring all the information to them, they may help you build your schedule. After this, you are probably already either finishing up your prerequisites or you're ready to apply. So step number 4 is applying into your programs that you desire, the programs that you chose to apply to. So this may be 1 school, this may be 2 or 3. If you watch another one of my videos, I highly recommend applying to as many schools as possible. And I make this statement in one of my other videos, and I have a lot of other tips that I give in those videos. So feel free to head there and check those out. Apply into your program at this point and get accepted. This is step number 4. This step might take a little longer than you expect. A lot of times people don't get accepted from their first try and to their first school. So in this time period, you might have to wait a little, whether it's, you know, a couple months or maybe even a year or 2 before you can reapply. But if you get accepted, you will start your schooling. And I recommend in this time period, prepare yourself for starting the program, because it's quite a reality check when you went from not having to do like intense full-time job kind of schooling to having to do that for 2 years. So just prepare yourself as much as you can, get as organized as you can. I have also a video on my tips of starting dental hygiene school. So watch all of the things that I kind of recommend for that, and it'll really help you transition smoothly from that taking prerequisites period and maybe even the break period and starting dental hygiene school. Step number 5 is going through the 2 years of dental hygiene school. Now, this will be very intense. This is not going to be an easy 2 years. There might be weeks and that are easier, weeks that are harder, but it's doable. It's very manageable. So you go through these 2 years and you stay strong, and after this you are going to be probably at like January, February, March, April of your 2nd year. And this takes us to step number 6, which is taking your boards. And this is typically done around the March area of your 2nd year, so 2 or 3 months before you graduate. You'll be taking your boards and studying for them while doing all of your other classes and clinic. After you have done the boards, you are ready to finish your last quarter and graduate. So when you're graduating, you will be applying for your license, and that takes us to step number 7, which is getting your license. This is the very last step, and it's one of the most exciting steps, because everything that you have done to work up to this point, you're here. It finally led to this point, and now you're going to be released into the real world of dental hygienists, and this is where you're kind of on your own. You don't have teachers to guide you or hold your hand. but it's a very exciting time period. And that is the last of it. And at this point, you're probably a dental hygienist. And once you get to step 7, you will be a hygienist, a registered dental hygienist. Congratulations. I'm excited for that for myself, and I'm excited for that for anybody who's going to be watching this video and will be at that point too. Thank you guys for watching my video. If you have any questions, leave a comment, get in touch with me, and I'll try my best to answer. Also, like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you want to, feel free to go to my other 2 videos that I have about the dental hygiene series, and this will include my recommendations for getting accepted into the program, like raising your chances of getting accepted into a program and starting a program, and how to have a smoother transition, and just tips that I recommend to start the program. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.